What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the J.Meaney review. I'm J.Meaney, and today I'm giving my non-spoiler review to the new movie, New Mutants. New Mutants is about a mutant girl named Dani who winds up in a mutant
hospital
along with 4 other mutants,
Take a drink every time I say mutant.
where the goal is to control their powers and basically graduate on to the next facility. Some of the main conflicts in the movie are, you take one look at this place and it looks like shit, like you know this place is just up to no good. And the kids are kind of on to that right from the beginning. They can't leave the hospital, I mean it's basically a prison for them. Dani doesn't even know what her powers are or how to use them, not even in the slightest bit. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Magic, and I wouldn't say she's a villain,
She's just a prick to everybody.
especially Dani. And there's some weird horror movie shit going on in the hospital. Now it's time to pro and con this big shout.
This is where the fun begins.
Let's start with the pros. The concept of this movie itself is actually really intriguing. You got these kids with these horror movie serial killer type powers, most of which can't even control them, and a lot of them have been put through absolute hell before they arrived at the hospital. Some of them killed people on accident.
Some of them kill people on purpose.
Some of them were absolutely tortured. Like, these are just a bunch of broken teenagers. And the theme of a horror movie was actually really cool to have as like the undertone of the film, of a superhero film. And you see a lot of the potential as the movie goes on. Now, I'm saying you see the potential. I'm not saying the potential was fulfilled.
But I'll get into that a little bit later.
The performances were solid as fuck, especially Anya Taylor-Joy and Maisie Williams, which, if you know either of these actresses, I mean, it doesn't come as a big shock. They're great, and they were the greatest parts of this movie. There was one action set piece that was actually really good and really entertaining to watch towards the end of the movie.
And that's it. That's really, that's... fuck, man. That's all I got for pros on this movie.
Now let's get to the cons. This is a pretty bad movie. I mean, the editing is just choppy as shit, and I almost feel like there's like a half hour missing from the movie. The characters aren't very well developed. They basically all introduce themselves as some sort of cliche stereotype, like right off the bat. The beginning of the movie is slow as shit, which would have been fine if they were taking the time to build up these characters.
But they weren't.
Or at least they were kinda attempting. A little bit.
Not really.
It wants to be a horror movie so bad, but it never fully commits to it. There's bundles of eye-rolling scenarios and dialogue between the characters throughout the movie. Tried to make connections to the X-Men franchise, which didn't land whatsoever. And the big reveal isn't really a big reveal at all. I mean, you figure it out on your own like 20 minutes into the movie. The movie isn't as clever as it seems to think that it is. All the reveals are kind of like,
Yeah, no shit.
they almost would have been able to creep me out with this thing if the CGI wasn't so bad. They almost would have been able to slightly scare me with the horror elements if the CGI just wasn't so fucking bad. This is a low-budget film. There's so much potential in this movie. You can literally see it as the film goes on.
It just falls flat on its fucking face.
It's crazy how low my expectations were for this movie, and yet I still walked out and was surprised at how bad this film really is. Is this a good movie? No. But did I enjoy my time watching it?
No.
Like, I can bring myself to like shitty movies. I've done it so many times in the past. I mean, Project Power, I did a review on that. Not the greatest movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time. Venom, not the greatest movie. I thoroughly enjoyed my time. But there's nothing really redeeming about this film at all. Not even the performances from Anya Taylor-Joy or Maisie Williams was enough to make me leave this film with any sort of fulfillment. I mean, guys, we all know, this movie's been through hell. It's been delayed, I believe, 4 times. Fox wanted more horror elements of it, but Josh Boone, the director, wanted more of a John Hughes Breakfast Club type thing. And the movie that he presented to them was basically the film that I saw.
The studio hated it.
And they wanted to reshoot the movie, but what happened was Disney bought Fox right in the middle of all that fuckery. So the reshoots actually really didn't happen. We actually got the exact movie that Josh Boone showed to Fox, and they were like,
This movie sucks.
guys, overall, I give this movie a 3 out of 10. It's pretty fucking bad. And I think what really makes it worse is the potential that I saw in it. While I'm sitting there watching the movie, I'm thinking to myself, this actually could have been great. You have great actors and actresses. You have a great premise and concept of the movie. But Jesus Christ, you guys just fumbled the fuck out of it. And that's because that's what happens when the director and the studio are not on the same page. And for once, I actually like what the studio wanted over what the director wanted. Usually, the studio wants to come in and just fuck everything up, but they wanted more horror elements. And I think if they dived into the horror of it, I think we would have got a better movie. You can see where he tries to add that John Hughes flavor to it, and it just
Doesn't work.
it had all the right ingredients, but they just burnt the shit out of it. Yeah, guys, that's my review on The New Mutants. I'm surprised I even went to see this movie. Honestly, it was really just, I wanted to get back to the movie theater. And I'll tell you what, I was really happy to get back to the movie theater. I went and saw it in Dolby Cinema. It was a great experience being back at the movie theaters. It just sucked that I had to see the worst X-Men movie in the franchise. I stand by that. Dark Phoenix was, to me, the worst X-Men movie. But now, this is the worst X-Men movie I've ever seen.
I will never see this movie again. I don't even want to think about this fucking movie again.
And I don't even think the actors and actresses really care at this point. It's been delayed so long. I mean, Maisie Williams doesn't even look the way she does in the movie anymore. This movie is like 5 years old. But yeah, guys, that's what I think about New Mutants. Drop down in the comment section if you guys have seen the movie and let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Be sure to catch me on the Power Button podcast. Link will be at the end of the video. And yeah, till next time. Hopefully with a better review to a better movie. Probably Tenet.